Steve Gamache with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product video. This time we are looking at the Yoshimitsu Aogami Super Gyuto 210mm knife. This knife has a core steel of Aogami or blue paper super reactive carbon steel. The heat treat rating is about 62 to 63 Rockwell on that core steel, and the construction is a reactive iron cladding on either side of the Aogami Super, a 3-layer sandwich, and they've got a coating on that called a Kurouchi or Blacksmith Finish. And in addition, they also have a lacquer coating over the entire blade all the way down to the edge. So you've got a couple layers of protection there. They both will wear off over time. And the iron core is reactive, or since the iron cladding is reactive as well, so there's no stainless on this knife anywhere. The weight on this knife is 5.4 ounces, 154 grams. The blade length on this particular sample is about 218mm from tip to chin, and that will vary. All these dimensions and weights will vary from knife to knife because they're handmade. The overall length is about 360mm, and the spine thickness at the heel, chin area right here is about 3.7mm. It thins out pretty quickly to around 2-ish or so, and then holds most of that till you hit the taper towards the tip. And when you hit the grind of the knife at the tip, it thins out all the way, of course, towards the tip. The blade height is pretty generous for a 210. It's about 48.6mm on this particular sample at the heel. Again, that'll vary from knife to knife a little bit. The handle type is a basic hoe wood plastic ferrule. The wood actually is pretty nicely done. It's got a nice finish. It's hard. It feels a little harder than some hoe wood that you get. And there's a bit of a step in the wood between the ferrule and where the handle wood starts, but that's kind of normal for this type of handle. But it's actually a decent feeling handle despite the plastic ferrule. The circumference is about 3 inches right about here, so it's a kind of a standard size handle for a Gyuto, 210 or 240 Gyuto. And let's see, the balance point is right about there, which is pretty close to a pinch grip for me, so it gives a knife a nice neutral feel to it balance-wise. It feels quite nimble. It's a nice feeling blade. Let's take a look at some of the close-up features of the blade as I change focus here. So here's the blade itself. It's got a nice KU finish on it. You can actually see some hammer marks on the blade. It gives us really a lot of character. And you can see you've got a embossed kanji on one side and then some additional kanji on the other side. And they've got a nice finish and polish to the core steel where it shows from the cladding. You can really see that line of delineation there. And again, they've got a nice polish to that. They've done a nice job on this. This knife definitely has a lot of belly. It is not a knife that has a big long flat spot. Excuse me. So if you chop a lot and you want a push cutting chopping knife with a big long flat spot, this is not your knife. If you like to rock and you want a knife that flows really nice on a rock type motion, this might be a really cool knife for you. Let's look at it on our board. Actually, before they do that, here's the choil shot. So it does get pretty thin to the edge. They've got a nice grind on this knife. Here's what the knife looks like on the board. Oh, change focus. It's all manual here. So here is what it looks like on the cutting board. And despite the fact that you don't have a lot of flat spot, there's really not much flat spot at all on it anywhere. You've even got some reverse belly towards the heel here. I can't get too far without digging in. I'm digging in the tip about right there on the cutting board. So the particular design of this profile doesn't let you get too high, but it's a very smooth motion on the rocking. That's kind of what this blade is oriented towards. Fit and finish is very good on this blade, and it has nicely finished spine and choil emoto or neck here, nicely relieved. It's very comfortable out of the box. Out of the box sharpness is not very good. I'll give it a maybe 3 or 4 because I think the lacquer just goes all the way to the edge, but you could sharpen it up, or if you don't sharpen, order the sharpening service when you buy the knife, so Mark can have one of his guys, I think it's Josh, sharpen it up for you. If you sharpen, go ahead and put it right on the stones. As soon as you get it out of the box, you will want to do that. But very interesting blade, really nicely executed, feels good in the hand, and another interesting offering from Chef Knives to Go. So there you have the Yoshimitsu Aogami Super Gyuto 210mm knife.